Are we live? Hi, everybody. Robin Hyatt here. And I know I just have a few people, and because this is a new thing, and we're just going to just play around. I have some good information, and I have some fun stuff to talk to you about. Let's see. Okay, got a few people on here. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? How was your Thanksgiving? So that picture that I put up about that silver, I don't even know what it was. It was like a triangle. And it's actually, we found out it's in Monticello, Utah. And it's at the Lockhart Basin in Utah. Pretty cool. And they're really thinking that it's man-made. So I thought that was pretty cool. It has since disappeared. And it's really too bad. They think an artist put that up. And some kids, they think, got a dolly back there and took it down. So it's too bad because it was super cool. And I think that they should have left it up there. So it's too bad that someone found it because no one knew it was there. At least no one professed to know that it was there. And so that, of course, when people find out about it, things get destroyed or taken, and which is sad in our culture that those things happen. Things that are different get taken away. So I wanted to cover a couple of things because, as I said before, if you've had a reading from me, a video reading, I posted on my YouTube and give you the direct link. So if you have had that reading in the past or recently, download it to your computer because YouTube, I have 1 strike against me, and if I get 2 more strikes, they take my YouTube channel down. So, and I would begin again. I'm hoping that this will end, that this censoring will end, because a lot of us aren't doing anything bad out of the norm. I did watch a video, which was pretty interesting, that in one state, they closed down all churches, but they kept all the strip joints open. So in order to have church, the pastor decided to do a little strip show and then go into his sermon. So they turned on the music, he danced on stage, he took off his tie, threw it, and so that qualified for a strip place so they could have church, and then he went into his sermon. So it's just it's like, who is controlling the United States right now? Who is controlling the United States? I think there's a couple of things that may happen. So I'm going to go through those with you. And for those that are watching this later, hi, Long Island Bigfoot. Good to see you too. So I received, and actually I heard someone else talking about this, that if the current, guy at the top in the White House wins, something's going to happen to our TV signals. Our TV signals could go down, and we could go into a national emergency on our TV screen, and then it'll go off. But there will be a double meaning to this. And there's actually, this is something I've seen for a while, but actually, this Horrence Drew, Dr. Horrence Drew, was actually talking about this today. And I thought that was pretty interesting, that more than one person is getting this information. He talked about, also this Horrence Drew talked about shadow travelers, and the 3 angels will expose themselves to the world, listening to their word, not the media. So I just want to touch base on some light stuff like that. We're going to go to a reversal, a reset, and judge. Gold is going to be something you might want to invest in. because seems like gold keeps coming out. I've gotten gold for a long time. So something about gold instead of our dollar is going to be something to consider having invested in. Prepare for a double meaning, which I think we know about that, and the bank notes will crash. So, and then something around December 14th, have your food and water ready, not just for you, but also for your neighbors. So, and I've been talking about that for a long time about food and water. Um, and I wanted to talk to a little bit about a couple other dreams that I've had. So, one dream I did post about the Sasquatch, and I'm not sure what the meaning of this was. So, if anybody can kind of help me with the meaning of this because it was so vivid. So it was nighttime, and I was brought into a forest, and there was a little pathway going through the woods. There's a little opening of trees, and then there's a pathway in front of me, and I was standing at the pathway, and these Sasquatches were coming out and walking right by me. They didn't even see me, and I'm standing right there. And I'm looking at them, and a lot of these Sasquatches were not super tall. They were probably, I'm 5'5", they're 5'5" to 6 foot. They all looked the same, but they were just walking, like they came out of something of the woods and walked. Well, so I decided to see where they were coming from. So I moved over a little bit to see the opening, and there was like, you know, the sparklers, like when 4th of July, as a little kid, you have sparklers. Um, yeah, true. So the sparklers, those sparkles were going up and down, and then they took a form of a figure, and then a Sasquatch came out of that. And it was a big Sasquatch. This was a huge Sasquatch. And so he was coming straight at me, and I was just looking at him, and I was able to go eye to eye with him. And then he saw me, which the others didn't. And he saw me. And so he stopped, and he kind of went behind the tree, but we didn't break eye contact. And his eyes, because he was kind of a rustic red with long hair, and his eye, you know how we have the whites of our eye? It was the same color as his eyeball, if that makes sense. And like there was like our eyelid, the bottom part was red. Um, and we just stared at each other. And I know that's a bad thing to go eye to eye with a Sasquatch because it angers them, I believe, unless they're of a certain source. Um, and I got no feeling from him except curious why we were at the same place at the same time. And he was curious why he had the ability to see me and I had the ability to see him eye to eye. And so I know there's somebody else on this channel. When I posted that, they had the exact same dream. So if you ever come on and watch this today or whenever, will you tell me your dream? Because you said yours was almost exactly like mine. So are people having this sensation, this dream, that are in tuned either intuitively or just in tuned energetically to the Sasquatch? So, and I wasn't scared. It was more of a why and curiosity was more of the meaning with that. The other, let's see, what was the other one I wanted to talk to you about? I had a crazy one about Utah last night. Might have been because of that silver thing that was in Utah. And they found out it was in Lockhart Basin, Utah. But they think somebody took it because some kids went up there at like midnight to find it. And they did see a truck leaving, and it had something big in the back of it. And then there was something written at the base of it, and he said like someone peed in it, or there's water around it, or something like that. So, which was kind of vulgar what they did. So, Long Island Bigfoot. Sometimes it's a personal message we may not understand right away. Yeah, I'm really curious. I've had a vision. Please do. Go, if you don't want to put it publicly, send it to me on Robin, ROBYN, Hyatt, HYATT at yahoo.com. And talk to me about that because I'm curious. And I can still see his eyes clear as day. And it was funny that the other ones couldn't see me and they walked right by me. And then that one, as I was watching it materialize, was amazing. So, also, if you have been with me for 3 years, and let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I actually, in my 20s, I decided to activate my third eye more. I was raised Mormon, and this is something that I've gone to bishops about when I was raised. And because I've seen people in my room since a child and had noises, scratches on the walls, things like that. And I've had many blessings from Mormon bishops because I would scare my mom, and I would tell my mom, we had a 3-level house, and when I would get up in the morning, I'd tell her about my dream, and we'd go downstairs, and she'd always have the TV on, and the news would be announcing exactly what I just told her. And I would always know when the phone was going to ring, because those were the days we didn't have cell phones. And I would run downstairs, and the phone was always by my dad's chair, which he was in. And he would always go, "What are you doing?" And I'm going, "Well, the phone's going to ring. I'm going to get the phone." And he goes, "The phone's not ringing." And then it would ring. And so when I decided to activate what I have, which is to me God given, which most of us, I find Reiki helps a lot to connect with them. I did Reiki once. I live in Idaho, and I don't feel we have very many good people here for Reiki. I went to one lady, and it was the most uncomfortable experience I've ever had. So I don't think I've had a really comfortable experience with Reiki. So if anybody is in Boise, Idaho that does Reiki, that's wonderful. Please let me know. So, I forgot where I was going with that. So anyway, I started doing cold cases because we had a case here in Washington State, and the person came to me. So I actually hooked up with a detective on the case, and we started working on it. And so was starting with me helping on cold cases. A lot of times I would have the people come to me, and then I would go to the police about it. Then I was helping on a cold case 3 years ago, and something crazy happened where right in this room I had a visualization of a white Sasquatch. And it went, because it was right behind me, I stood up, and when I stood up, I hit the thigh of it, and I bounced back into the chair. Forgive me if my dog starts barking. And then I bounced back into the chair. And then I said, "Do not show yourself like that to me in 3D. I do not like seeing anybody in 3D. So, hi, Rebecca. How are you? Nice to see you. And so that began my quest on what this was. I said, I go from people, dead people, to what I thought was a monster. But it did help because it was white. And then I learned the name of this Sasquatch was Natil. And Natil and I had been together for several years. Most of my early communications are on my channel of me channeling her. And it gave me my awakening. It was the most spiritual, even though I was raised in a religion, which I'm no longer in, but raised in this religion, by learning the spiritualism from this white Sasquatch um, was more awakening, more spiritual than I've ever tasted before in a religion on this earth. And so as Natil and I traveled together, and she gave me information on death, I asked her to take me to a portal, and I wanted to go to the portal and through the portal. And that was an experience I'll never forget, which is posted. And then I received message she had passed, because she was from this earth, and I call her my white Canada, because I felt she was from Canada, in the Canadian area, and she had passed, but she is still active with me. But I'm transferring now to different Sasquatches, and I would like to, hopefully, I'm really crossing my fingers next year that I can relocate back to Washington State and get into more of the trees and start doing direct communication. Right now, I'm more of a city girl. I have to travel if I want to go to any, trees. But I have gotten a lot of spiritualism from these Sasquatches, which is very interesting. It's changed my life, as I know many of you who have direct communication. A lot of my readings are from people who have an inkling of spiritualism or direct communication with Sasquatch, and we delve deeper into that, and where they can really connect with their Sasquatch. So anything that you want to talk about before I get started? Reiki helps a lot. See, we covered the Reiki. I really wish I could find someone good here. Okay, so let's see what I wanted to get into. So I hope you enjoyed the message from Gabriel. That was came on me all of a sudden, so that was really pretty fun. I have a couple interesting points I want to share with you. So these, I'm just going to go through them. I do a lot of writing, and I don't know if that's part of my psychicness, is that I kind of go into a trance and go into writing. So I do a lot of reading of what I write. So let me go into, I got a man holding a coin. I keep seeing gold. Gold is a huge, I think gold is going to become a huge part of our society. I don't know if the dollar is, but I've been seeing gold for a very, very long time. Good. Yeah. I really wish, excuse me, Long Island Bigfoot, it'd be fun to get us together, because everybody that has psychic abilities or has been awakened or has some sort of connection to these Sasquatches, excuse me, when I talk, I start losing my voice. I think we all have different talents, strengths in different areas. Some people can do readings like that and tell people certain things. I have to really connect with their spirit guide, and I like to give as much compacted information as I can. And I always like to verify it. So I'm not a person that just shoots out information. I like to mulch over it and make sure it's correct. And that's why a lot of my readings take like a week, and I do a videotape of it. And a lot of people have been asking to have me connect with their Sasquatch, where I think that's a very interesting question, because I may be able to, but you're the one that needs to be connected to your Sasquatch, or to your guide. A lot of people want to know their guides' names. Well, you ask them. Everybody has what I have. Somehow, some of us, I think, have awakened early, and we have we have a certain source or direct connection. And I believe I'm here to help you with your connection through whatever means, whatever it may be. And what I've been learning is that through what we have in Long Island Bigfoot, what you have, because you're psychic. I think I've seen your YouTube channel before. My responsibility, once I fully accepted what I have and I have grown with it and deepened it and it became fully activated and awake, almost fully activated, it's my responsibility now that I know I have it to help you. So it's my responsibility to help you awaken, lift your soul. We all have lives that we have lived. We all have been raised in certain ways. And sometimes those ways that we're raised hold us down and don't allow us to be who we are meant to be. I feel, and that's why I have my channel. And as I was having this communication with White Canada, I could not give it to you. I have a responsibility to share this. I could not keep it to myself. And so as I share it, people filter in and they filter in and they filter in. I do not have a big channel because I am not a speaker. I'm a very shy person. I don't know if you know that, but I'm a very shy person. I was very shy. I actually didn't talk until I was later in life. So this is not something that I ever want ego to possess. I want this to be clean and clear and of spirit, and I want it to manifest what needs to be manifested. And I am here, I feel, to bring you, whoever needs this, to lift you higher, to lift you out, to make you aware of things. Because when I became aware, awakened, you see things different. You become different. You talk different. I see that I don't get as stressed out as I used to be. I used to be an avid worrier, like, how is this going to affect me? How am I going to survive? How is this? Oh, my family. Oh, this. No one's going to understand. Da, 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 da. And now and I don't know if it's my age, but I don't care. And I think Long Island Bigfoot, you would agree with this by being intuitive, that it is our responsibility. Oh, that looked weird. It is our responsibility to help others. And even though as you know, I was raised Mormon, I always taught and served in the Mormon church. And I worked full time. I went through 2 marriages in the Mormon church. And I chose to walk my path. Whatever comes in my path now is mine. I own it. And I don't have a family, so I don't have those challenges. And I had to come to the realization that sometimes our lives, this life, is particular to you. I didn't need the challenge of a husband or children. I needed the challenge of me. I needed to rise myself up out of my past and my mindset that a lot of my parents put me into and the religion put me into, and to break out of it and open. And now I'm open. and I'm absorbing like a sponge, because you'll want to get as much information as you can, because now you're living in a new existence. I hope that makes sense. Um, so the first thing I saw was this man holding a coin, gold, and readiness to further your goals. So now is time to reset. I think everything right now is in reset. We have a government in reset. We have a presidential thing in reset. Who knows what's going to happen with that? I thought for sure I knew what was going to happen with that, but we don't know. We really don't know. And I have a feeling if it goes one way, it'll be awesome. If it goes another way, it's going to speed up more biblical stuff. So, if I can say that. Okay, let's see. Remote Reiki. Cool. Rebecca, can you email me about your friend? And has anybody ever had, what is that when they regress you? I had a shaman do a regression on me because I wanted to go into my childhood, because I didn't remember my childhood. A lot of my childhood from, well, 0 to like 5, totally don't remember it. Oh no, actually till 7. And so I did this regression with a shaman. It was very interesting. And she worked with a drum. So we're in a drum. She regressed me, and I bounced back to a past life. And then she took me even farther back to another past life. Very interesting with these past lives, that there was an emotional connection to each one that propelled me to this one. And it was very interesting because she had a hard time bringing me out of it. And she had to really pound those drums to get me out of my last past life, because I was, when I saw the 2 past lives, and there was this, I think it was the main theme of my past lives, the last 2, that emotion was so strong and so vivid that it is in me now. And that feeling, that catastrophe of those 2 past lives now is what I need to work on to do a completion, a graduation. And I don't know if any of you have felt this, that when you are awakened and you go through a progression, you graduate. Just a second. I'm going to turn this off. I have a laptop over here just in case there's any problem. How do you like my gray hair? I'm growing my gray out in the front. I'm not going to grow it all the way out, but just in the front, because I'm going to be 60 years old next year, and I thought I better start growing some gray out. I made my mom go gray. Aren't I mean? I used to be a hairdresser, and I made my mom go gray. Okay, so anyway, I keep getting sidetracked. Sorry. Any other questions before I continue on? So it talks about increase of health. Health raises your vibration. And as you raise your vibration, you will become lighter inside. You will wake up more invigorated. And I can't explain the last 3 years. I feel like I've been having, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, I asked my Sasquatches for healings. And I have asked them for healings before. And a lot of times I know they'll be around because there's a vibration that I feel like my whole body is vibrating. And I know they're here because before I go to bed too, I will have a skunk smell. And I won't see them or feel them, but once I'm in bed, I will have that vibration, and I know I need to sleep so they can start working on my body. So even though I'm not perfectly healthy, I feel that I'm in a better place as a almost 60-year-old than I would have been without all these experiences. So, and I don't know those that go into the forest and have communication with Sasquatch, if you feel the same thing. If you feel the vibration, I know there's a vibration that you feel. And I know Long Island Bigfoot. Um, I don't know if you saw the video that I had of the Bigfoot that came to my window, and if you know of my past, of my missing time at Lake Shasta when I was 5. So, and I was lucky to be found because I was taken by something. And there was one witness that saw something leave my body, which was a Sasquatch. So there's a little history with me and Sasquatches. I feel children that are taken by these Sasquatches, because it's true. I think we all have a common denominator. I wish the 411 would look into children that have been taken, people that have been taken or almost taken or have a communication. There is a common denominator. I really feel that. And if I could ever talk to someone that has the same experience as I did, there's something common, or activation. And Long Island Bigfoot, if you saw one of my past videos, I think it was about 2 years ago, this window right here, I'm sitting on the couch and there's a window right here, so it's super close. It was, I think, July, August, summertime, had the window wide open. I live on a corner lot. I live in the city of trees, so there's trees. They're not forest trees, but they're trees. And I have a huge tree, elderberry tree, and it's probably 100 years old. It's like as big as my house. I'm worried one day this tree is going to fall down on me. And I had the window wide open. I have a street light that is a gold hue. And I was with my laptop sitting on the couch this way facing the window, because I always love looking at this tree. This tree and I is just a major connection. And I looked up because I felt something watching me, and I looked up and there was gold eyes. It wasn't red eyes, but it was kind of an amber gold. They were so round and big, and I could see the halo, and it was the Sasquatch, and I could see the shine on the nose. And what was really pronounced to me as its face was right at the screen is its cheeks. Its cheeks were so wide. I remember the shine on the cheeks was just, the cheeks were so wide because the eyes were inset. And I went blank. I lost time. And there's a little smell, but not a strong smell. I smelled stronger skunk in my house than I did during that time. There was no sound. And so I think I lost an hour to an hour and a half of time when I looked into the eyes of this thing. And then what woke me up out of it, as I'm staring at it, and there's no panic, there's no thought. I thought, why do I have no thought? Because even though you have sleep paralysis, you have thought, like, help, you have thought. And I had no thought. And I think now we know there might have been some sort of activation going. It lowered itself down, and as it lowered itself down and our eyes broke apart, then I regained consciousness, even though I was staring right at it. And I popped up the couch and I ran to the back bedroom. And what was very interesting is my dog has a bed right here, and it's a Yorkie. Any little sound, this dog is rah, 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 rah. And this dog slept through the whole thing. And once I regained my self-composure in the back, I came out and I thought, do I call the police? What do I do? What are the police going to do? Who's going to believe me? Well, I saw this thing with glowing eyes. I mean, it was like a car light looking at me. And then it was very interesting because I went on a talk show or YouTube, and we talked about it, and people were saying, well, maybe you were activated, and maybe it was activating you. Maybe that's what it was, doing downloads on you. And it was funny they said that. I never thought that. It's funny they said that because I did feel stronger and clearer afterwards. So I thought it was pretty interesting. Okay, so anything else, guys? Okay, I'm going to continue on. I hope this isn't boring you too much. I know I'm talking about myself, but I wish I could talk to people. This is just kind of weird talking to a screen and looking at myself. So bear with me. This is new. I think we're going to do this every week or every 2 weeks. And next week or the week after, I want to talk about this expansion for extending consciousness, because this is what helps get you awakened. So this is a great book. If everybody could read that, or Google this man. He's a very interesting man. So I have this, and I was so excited because I put a recipe in it for egg casserole. This is the best recipe. So I was glad I got this book. So let's read this book, and let's talk about this book. And I want to start having where I am talking to other intuitives. It'd be great to talk to other people that are intuitive and visit Sasquatch and listen, and we can talk. I think it's time for us to communicate, accept each other. No competition here. I want no competition. I'm not better than anybody else. No one else is better than me. We're going to learn from each other. And so I'd like to have people come on and where we can structure a show. And I do have a woman that lives here. I've gone to a couple of her classes. She is intuitive. She's written a book. She delves into people's shadow. It's called shadow work. She does a lot of the work that no one else wants to do. Everybody has problems. Everybody has deep-seated problems. And she brings that out. You look at it, and then you get rid of it. And so she's written a book on it. She had a class I went to, and she was doing readings on every single person in the class. So I sat there, and I was just exuberant because I was just feeling so good about the placement and the work I've been doing. And I felt clean and clear, and I thought, oh, she can't read me. And she looked at me. I think I was her second reading because she just picked us. And she goes, you're telepathic, aren't you? And I think that is bizarre. She nailed that. I got so embarrassed because I go, you don't say that out loud. And she said that because as you talk with Sasquatches and you work with dead people, you very rarely speak. Everything is through mind. A lot of times I don't speak out loud because if there's any lesser spirits in the room, I don't need them to hear what I'm saying. I believe that when you have mind thought and you're linked, or you have mind thought to your guide or spirit, I feel it's best if you mind link. So anything lesser that is lesser than you cannot hear you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So a lot of times, and I've been told that I am telepathic. So let's see. So I got, so health raises your vibration. Success is on its way. Take control of your own finances. Somehow I heard that's very important to take control of your own finances. Be open to a person that gives great advice to you through this financial. Trust your own intuition, weigh the information. Second, and most of you know that I am Christian now. The second one was healer of the nation, healer of the ages. So I think we're understanding now that it's time to watch TV less. actually don't have a TV anymore. I haven't watched TV in 3 years. And so it's time to watch it less because it does nothing for you. Sorry, looking down. It's hard to look up at this thing. So I'm sorry if I'm looking. It's time to get to nature. It's time to delve into yourself. It's time to turn off that TV because we're finding there's so much that it is not helping you progress. In fact, it's dulling you down. So I know TV sometimes takes you away from problems and stuff, but if we can work on our awareness and work on ourselves, you won't need it. You won't need it. And do family things. Talk to each other. It's fabulous. Okay, so the Healer of Agers, there is going to become a profound healing. Light of the divine consciousness pours out its hand and heart, love, and a powerful healing intention. Now that you are awakened, for most of you are, and this awakening is near your home, state, and America. America has had its awakening. Can't you feel it? Can't you see it? Now we're in part 2 of that awakening, which is called the reset. So we're in the reset right now. Then after this, who knows? If anybody knows what's after the reset, let me know. So hopefully peace and love. Depends who's president. It talks about you have arrived, you are awakened. And this energy appears. You can't deny it. When this energy appears and you are awakened, you cannot deny it. It may scare you because it means your life is changing. All that you know is changing, which is good and great because was it really working for you the other way? Were all these choices working for you the other way? You will just become stronger and stronger. And I'm going next year with warrior spirit. We are warriors now. Once you are awakened, you are a warrior. Now it is time for your quest. So we are going to work on that next year. If you do deny it, you forfeit many great and majestic things coming to you, and you will not be prepared. And then I saw that the storm is going out, the dark clouds are parting, and it has passed. We have a few light showers now, then the dark clouds will part to bring in the sun. And when I heard the sun, I wrote SON, but it's up to you what you bring in. You can bring SUN or SON. Whatever it is light. And whatever it is energy. And whatever it is, it feels good. There are many being led, protected right now to help the storm pass and resume in the light. And then I wrote, thus we then, as the light filters in, we bring in the transformation, a significant transition. Don't you see it? Don't you see it? No one can deny this. The whole world is watching. The whole world is watching the awakening in the United States. Don't you feel that? I feel that. And we have been shifted. We, as people, when we have an awakening, we're shifted. And those that deny it are angry, possibly in positions of altering their state of mind. And so they can deny it because of fear and greed. And so, but those that are awakened will have all the glory because they will see and they will understand and they will be prepared and they will be calm and they will be excited. And they'll be excited to live in peace. There's people that don't like to live in peace, and they enjoy, they feel comfortable in a catastrophic, however you say it, being controversial. And have you ever met a person that loves to debate everything that you say? And you're going, why? Why do you give all your energy to that instead of positive and light? The darkness has been pushed back. And I did a thing on my YouTube channel when I had a communication with the Sasquatch. And one of the Sasquatch's purposes is to push back the darkness. And who's to say that their energy is not blanketing the earth, that they are gathering and blanketing the earth through nature, and their energy is casted upon the earth and is pushing the darkness back, or exposing the darkness. Because Sasquatches have an energy. There's many people that I've heard of their stories, read of their stories, when they have come to buy a Sasquatch, that they get zapped. And just like I did, where I didn't remember anything. Well, how can they do that? They have to have an energy. They have to have some form of some energy communication that comes into our brain and scrambles it and makes us go, forget everything. Well, they're of the earth, and I do believe Sasquatches are God-made. I believe they've been here since the beginning of man, or they've been here before man, and now is the time for them to activate. A lot of those TP structures that you see in the forest, I did receive from Natil, that's ceremonial. And I learned from her that each wood is brought in by a Sasquatch. Ooh, did you see an orb go right through here? And it's laid there. And that's a ceremonial thing. That's why they're disassembled. Then they disassemble it and then they build it again, because it's ceremony. It's a ceremonial thing. And I believe the orbs, I have been told, and let's see, Long Island Bigfoot, if you're still here, this is kind of deep, but I have been told that the light, a lot of people think it's the essence of the Sasquatch, but I think I've been told that they come up from the ground and they're cherubim. So let me know what you think. Cherubim, the white ones are the cherubim, because I believe there's a lot of stuff going underground and stuff like that. We'll cover that another day. Let's see. The shift. The darkness has been pushed back, which we covered. We should all be grateful right now that there has been thousands of unforeseen beings helping and directing important men and women to create this happening. If by chance we fail, then in time, the greater country, ours, will slowly be dismantled, and all we knew will be lost into dictatorship of sorts. But I see we are getting ready to cross a bridge. Now, this was a very vivid dream I had, that I was standing at a bridge and all of America was behind me. I mean, we were all together as one, but I just was at the head, so because I had vision. Doesn't mean I'm better by any means. But I see we are getting ready to cross a bridge, move into a new light-filled adventure. And then at the other side of the bridge was a scroll. And that scroll greets us. on the other side of the bridge. And this scroll is called wisdom. You individually are now in a place to create and are capable of transformation from your old life to something brand new. So your old life is on one side of the bridge. You cross over into greater wisdom on the other side, and you accept that wisdom. We all fall short, but then you just reboot and reset. Unhealthy patterns, see them, look at them. Do they serve you now? Shift to something much higher than yourself. You are a powerful manifester. Choose optimism, trust, and self-love. So part 2 of this thing I'm seeing is greater achievement. I see in our future in the USA, we'll reap the rewards that many people have fervently been working so hard at. A good outlook, I see. Your families and homes, there is still work to be done, and I saw planning. Bask in the peace, pleasure, and continue of happiness. Time to bring your passion back into your life. I think we went to a screeching halt in March when COVID hit. I hope I can say this. I feel COVID is man-made, but, and I work in the medical field, so I know COVID's real. I know a lot of people don't think COVID's real. I'm wearing a mask because I have talked to people and heard people that actually have had it, and I do not want it. That's one thing now, is if I can become unscathed through COVID, and I work directly with people. So, so far, knock on wood, it is a horrible thing, and it's real, and it's still happening, and it's growing. It's growing here in Idaho. And we are just knocking on wood and saying our prayers. So I think when we came to that screeching halt, it was actually God-given halt, because it stopped us in our tracks. It stopped everything. And you had to hunker down, and you had to be with family and contained. And that was an opportunity. Everybody thinks, oh, my rights are taken away. My rights are taken away. You had an opportunity to stop and let go of everything and refocus. It was a time to reset, refocus. And some people did that. And I'm not saying that it was meant to happen or any means like that, because there's a lot of people that lost their businesses. And I'm so thankful that I work in a job that I'm an essential worker. Because if I was a hairdresser still, that I did for 20 years, I would have been down the tubes, because I would have had my own business like I had for 20 years. And if you can't work, you get, and hairdressers don't save their money. So I would have been down the tubes. And I really felt unfortunate that some people lost their jobs, lost their work, lost their businesses. That's a terrible thing. But for some, it was a time to reset. And there may come a time that I've been saying food preparedness, food preparedness, food preparedness. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I have to say it. You need to prepare for at least a month or so of food and water. I feel we'll have energy. I feel communication may stop for a while, but we need to have food and water. And I don't know why I'm saying it, but I'm saying it because I meant to say it. You need to have enough for your neighbors. I mean, you need to have where you have enough for you and your family. If you had to be hunkered down for a month. But you also need to help your neighbors. So you need to get a little extra in case other people that aren't prepared need help. Put it out there. So bring your passion back. Now is the time that we're resetting. Bring our passion back. How much time? Ooh, we've been almost an hour. Okay. So let's see. Bring that joy, passion back into your adulthood. Your passion not only balances yourself, it seeps into others' lives as a positive. So now I'm going to go into something deep, like none of this is. So illuminate the shadow. When we understand our shadow, we can fully appreciate the light. Without darkness, how can one fully appreciate the beauty and simplicity of life? Once we remove fear and doubt that we all are comfortable in, I have a comfort zone of fear. I have to tell you that. It's just how I was raised and how this world likes to keep us in. It's a comfort zone. Fear is a comfort zone. There's no such thing as fear. Think about that. There's no such thing as fear. You've been taught fear, but it's not real. Doubt that we all are comfortable in. Once we get rid of that fear, and you realize that fear is nothing except what you make it to be, you get rid of the fear, you have more room to bring love, confidence, and you reclaim your personal power. Our shadow selves highlight that need to place ourselves first. And you can still do this if you have a family. This is just you absorbing into yourself here, and keeping this. This is your own personal awareness. We are stuck within our shadow side. Some of us are stuck within our shadow side, and we are unable to see the light. We forget gratitude, compassion in selfish moments. Also extend this as you must understand the shadows of others. Be more considerate of others, and understand other people's hardships and develop empathy. Some of us have that naturally. Some of us have too much of that. But some of us need to develop empathy for others. This is challenging. Okay, now I'm going to go into something visionary I Ching is called mutual attraction. This came up. So if this is for anybody out there, listen to this. Mutual attraction. When the assertive is able to defer to the receptive, and when the receptive accepts the responsibility and exercises its quiet leadership, a union is the result. Consistency is important in matters of mutual attraction. So when I end a lot of my readings, I like to pick a card for an animal spirit card for the person. And when I do readings, and if I do cards with my readings, I will shuffle the deck and say their name over and over, and then a card will just fly out. So I'm not one that hand picks the card. I let spirit pick the card for me. So let me tell you a little bit about the loon bird. Loons got their name because they walked clumsy on land, but they are great swimmers and they're divers. The loon wails and yodels and hoots. The loons are monogamous up to 5 years, only 5 years, according to Cornell Labs. Baby loons can swim and dive after 2 to 3 days. 12 weeks, they can fly. They're reported to live up to 9 years, and some in the National Geographic have lived up to 30 years. I always wondered how long birds live, and very seldom do you see a dead bird. I don't know. I mean, those in the forest, do you see dead birds? I guess animals probably retrieve them quickly. Loons like being alone in the day, but at night they migrate together. So this is our card. See if we can see it. It's the loon, and it's intuitive. Listen to the song of your soul. Trust your intuitions as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. I think in all my sessions, in all my channeling sessions here, it's so simple. It is so simple. This whole life. It's love. Our life should be love. We should fill ourselves with love. We should give love freely. Doesn't mean you have to be cautious. Doesn't mean you have to be stupid. But there's always discernment. But when people die and come back to life, what do they talk about? Love. And what is love? What is it? It's a word. What is love? Love is energy. We call it love, but I bet you in heaven it's something else. It's God. Energy. It's energy that fills you completely. You are completed. Our lives here, we have opportunity now. We have an opportunity to awaken, to lift ourselves, to take care of our families, to take care of our children. If you have children, it's your responsibility to raise these kids in the best capacity that you can. It's not anybody else's responsibility but yours. And don't take it as a chore, take it as an opportunity. Let them thrive. Fill them with love. Fill them with confidence. Let them go at a certain age, and if they fall, be there for them when they need you, or be right there before they need you, if you understand what I'm saying. So peace out, you guys. I think we've gone about an hour. And think about, let's start doing some conversation. So if you know anyone that is similar to me, that's how I like to start it. And that actually can get out and see the Sasquatches, because I can't, I don't live in a place, obviously they come to my window, but that's only been once. I did have a guy that's of Indian descent, and he knows a lot about the Sasquatches. And he actually messaged me when he heard about my 2 experiences. And he says, next time you see a Sasquatch face to face, you might not live. And I go, great. I go, don't tell me stuff like that. And I thought that scared me a little bit. I went, great. So I have not gone into the forest again. So if anybody would like to meet up with me and we can do a split screen, we can do it on your channel, we can do it on my channel. Let's talk, because I think people would like to know messages that we know. And I think we have a lot to share. And I think this is all positive and good, and it just needs to come out. So how do you guys like my tree? I just put that up. So I did Festival of the Trees here for a few years, and now, and I don't think you can see it. Let me move my chair a second. Okay. So between those 2 Santas, see that right there? That is rose quartz. That thing is like 10 pounds. I came into some money just recently, and I thought, what have I always wanted? What have I always wanted? And that's what I always wanted. It is rose quartz. It's a love stone, because I talk about love all the time. So I bought me a huge rose quartz, and I absolutely love it. And I have it next to my bedstand at night. So you guys, peace out. It's lovely talking to you. Let's do it again next Sunday. And if you want to talk about any certain things, I think I was going to do some readings for people, but let's wait on that, and maybe we can just start out with that next week. So every Sunday, I think I like to come forward. If I'd like to set up on some interviews, and because I really feel that I learn from people talking, and I grow. And then if people give me information, then I Google it and I understand it. So peace out, you guys. Have a good day. I love you all. What happened in? Oh, look at, there's another orb. What happened in the forest? Diana, I'm not sure. You'll have to watch this. And are you talking about my childhood in the forest? With Bigfoot. You're talking about my childhood at 5 years old, right? Because that's the only twice I've seen Sasquatch. And one was at my window. What was your experience? So, okay, you want to hear? Yes, you want to hear it. Okay, so every year, my family, we lived in California. I was raised in California. I was born in Glendale, California. And so we had a boat, and we had a family that had their kids the same age as us. So there's 3 of us boating, and we went to Lake Shasta. We always went to Shasta a lot. And so I was 5. I hated water. I was adopted, by the way. Both my brother and I were adopted. My parents couldn't have children. So we were all individually different people. I was very shy, very quiet, very small for my age. And I didn't like water. So going boating, hated it. And I never went swimming. And so my dad always put a life preserver on me, those vests. Yeah, many portals in Shasta. So anyway, so I had a life vest on, my bathing suit, and those thongs, because this is in the 60s, guys. You know, you have to remember my age. So we went to a place, and it was rocky because we couldn't find a sandy place for lunch. And so we all pulled up with the boats. There's 3 families, and we're all kind of the same age. The parents were kind of the same age. I was 5, and I had a friend named Kim. She was 5 with the other family. My brother had Dave and Kevin, and then the other family was new, and I think it was just a husband and a wife. So we pull up, beautiful day, and it's kind of a rocky beach. So they decided to have lunch. So we pull in, and I thought, I have to go to the bathroom. And my mom goes, well, just go. There's just a little, probably 7, 8 feet, not very far, was a forest of trees. So it was a rocky kind of cove, and then a forest of trees, and then water. So the men are getting the coolers out of all the food. The women are starting to prepare the food. The kids are playing in the water, and I had to go to the bathroom. So my mom goes, just go right back up here, right behind me, go to the bathroom, turn around, come back. Just go right up to that tree right there. And she showed me the tree, and I said, okay. So I went up there, my clumsy little way. And so I had to keep my vest on. So going to the bathroom was kind of clever because it was. So anyway, I remember thinking they can still see me with that tree. And so I went in a little bit because I want to make sure no one could see me because I was very prudish. And then it seems like right before I could go to the bathroom, and I was facing this way, I wasn't facing them, I was lifted up. And something grabbed me, lifted me up, and took off running. And all I remember is panic. And hi, Typical Watch. We're talking about my Sasquatch experience when I was a kid. So I was lifted up, hoisted up, and I was up high. And I call it like a Disney ride because it was so fast. And I was facing this way. So I was facing all the trees, and then a hand came up over my face, not to cover my face, but to protect my face, I believe. So a hand had me this way and then this way, which covered almost all of me except my dangling legs. And so I could hear the twigs breaking, because we were moving through the forest so quickly, and all I heard was twigs snapping, and I could hear heavy, 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 heavy breathing. I mean, like like just heavy. Um, I don't remember smell. And then something grabbed my legs and hoisted them up and turned me in to the body. And all I remember from the arm was like long red hair or fur. It was almost kind of like nappy, like, I don't know. It wasn't exactly smooth and soft, looking more like dreadlockish looking hair, but it was long, hanging off the arm like that. And then it turned me in to, I think, to protect me and brought up my legs. And then I don't know what happened. I blanked out, and that's all I remember. And then now I'm going to stop at my part of the story, and now I'm going to tell you my mom's side of the story. She said that I disappeared for an hour, just about an hour. My mom, my dad came up and said, "Where's Rob?" Which they call me Rob or Egg, Robin, Egg. Or he called me Egg. And so she goes, well, she's going to the bathroom. She's been a little bit. You want to go get her? And so my dad goes up there, and he just found my thongs because my thongs fell off when I was hoisted up. And he came back to my mom and goes, "What's going on?" And I think my mom heard him call my name a few times, and then she was warned that I was not there. So the men became a group, and they started going into the forest and calling my name to find me because they thought she must have wandered off. I was a wanderer. I kept my head down and I would walk away. I would just wander. And so they just thought I wandered off, but they thought it was really odd because I didn't have my thongs on. To make a long story short, one of the third man of the group, there's a cove of water, and I don't swim. That's why I always had my life vest on. My dad tied it. He was in the Navy, and he would tie it in these Navy knots, so there's no way I could get off my vest. And so he went into this cove to see if I wandered and fell into the water. And so he saw nothing. He just felt directed to look at this cove. And then he saw nothing, so then he started walking away. Just seconds after he started walking away, he heard a splash. And so he immediately turned and went back to see what that splash was. And it was me. I don't know if I was thrown in the water. And he said it was only a second, or if I was placed in the water and something was thrown next to me, which you'll hear what that was. He says I was floating face down. He grabbed me. He went into the water, grabbed me, brought me out, and he was emergency preparedness. He drove ambulances. So thank God, my mom goes, "Thank God he's the one that found you." He says I wasn't in water very long. I revived quickly. And he said the strange thing is my vest was next to me. My vest was untied off me. I was 5 years old. I was skinny as a twig. My dad even had a hard time taking that vest off of me at the end of the day. So my dad, he started yelling, but this man said that he saw something in the forest staring at him, and it's something that scared him. And he said he'd never talk about it, and he never had anything to do with our family again because he wanted away from this whole situation. So anyway, long story short, it ended the trip. We went back to the cabin that we rented. My parents went to the forestry, and they were gone almost all night. saying that a madman had taken me and that they need, and so I was not hurt. I had scrapes in my legs from the branches. They think I had my legs were bleeding because of the scrapes on my legs. My dad could not figure out how I got my life vest off or how I got how I jumped into the water. I mean, it all was just crazy. So anyway, my mom and I talked about it several times, and I finally told my mom what I saw because I didn't tell anybody for a very, very, very long time what I saw. And what I saw, I didn't remember well. I mean, I only remembered being picked up, hoisted up, running through the forest, a hand, which was kind of a grayish burnt color. The hand filled my whole face, if not more. That's how big it was. And then the hair. Um, let's see. Hi, Robin. Yes, I did. I did tell my parents, and my mom said, fine. My mom said, with what that man said he saw, um, she had no reason to believe. They thought it was a transient man that took me. So, either way, I'm just glad to be alive. So, I'm going to have to leave you guys because it's been a little over an hour. Peace out. If you want to re listen to this, you're more than welcome to. Thank you for joining me and thank you for participating. I didn't think anybody would come and participate on this. So I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. I'm doing everything out of love. And I just pray I'm to keep this channel open because I was really upset with that strike that I got. I did have to take down a video. It was a JFK video of my channeling session. And so when several people reported it as bullying and very negative. And I don't think I have anything I do as negative, but maybe I'm wrong. So I had to take that down, and then they took my channel down for a couple days. So if my channel ever goes down, I will repeat it, and it'll probably go under Robin Hyatt, Love and Light, I think, if I ever do that. And I appreciate all of you, and have a Merry Christmas. If you want to do this again next week, it would be so awesome if there's audio, where you guys could just talk at me. But let me know if you want to do this again. So peace out. Love you guys. Bye. Merry Christmas. Bye.